After the Bell, presented by Nathaniel Lee, attorney at law.
Let's welcome in Brian Martin from Los Angeles with our After the Bell report.
All right, Brian. So inflation seems to be the overall theme of companies' report earnings.
Yeah, Alexis, Jasmine, good evening to both of you. We keep hearing that word a lot. In fact, about 2/3 of companies in the S&P 500 have mentioned the word inflation in their earnings reports. Now, this includes some big players like Pepsi, Citigroup. We also continue to hear about how supply chain issues continue to impact companies' bottom lines. We'll see what happens as we go through this week, though, as we're expecting to get earnings from tech companies. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, all of the big dogs are going to report third quarter earnings this week. On the markets today, last week's rally continued into this week with the Dow gaining 417 points. How are you doing on your retirement savings? Well, a new survey from Bankrate.com shows more than half of workers, 55%, say they feel like they're behind on their retirement savings. Just 25% of workers increased their savings this year. 16% are now saving less. 24% of workers do not contribute anything to their retirement plans. Electric car sales grew faster than any other segment of the auto industry in the third quarter. Americans bought more than 200,000 EVs in the third quarter. That is 67% more than the same time last year. And as Tesla recently reported earnings, 64% of all those new EVs sold were, in fact, Teslas. Reporting live, I'm Brian Martin. Alexis, Jasmine, back to you.
Well, hey, Brian, while we're talking about auto mechanics, auto cars, GMC has actually had a hit on its hands, I hear.
Does indeed. GMC unveiled the Sierra Denali EV Edition 1 last week, opened it up to reservations. Get this, it's sold out in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. It is not a cheap truck either. That version of the truck sells for $107,000. All right, now granted, the reservations, they're not binding. They only required $100 down to reserve one, but still. By the way, if you like what you see and you would like one, now you have to get on the old waiting list.
Ooh, My dad used to have one of those. They're good cars.
Yeah.
They're
nice.
out of my price range, though.
Well, me too, Brian. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.